Hello everyone, welcome to our HTML and CSS tutorial course for beginners. If you're joining us for the first time, I highly recommend you pause this video, go watch our intro lesson 1 video. There are some very important instructions in there you need to follow. That way you can follow along with me as I go deeper and deeper into this course. If you've already done that, check the description area. You should see something that says like a lesson link. You can click on that and then you can see exactly what I'm seeing over here. Okay, so in the previous lesson we did look at text display. We also looked at the class and ID attributes. We're going to be looking at styling text in this lesson. Now this is where we will begin the styling of our website. Okay, some coding experts think that all styling should be done in the CSS file. So far we've been working in our HTML file section. As you can see right here at the top, it says index.html. We will cover a little bit more about the files and stuff like that, but many coding experts do say that all styling should be done in the CSS file. The thing is that sometimes you can also style inside the HTML section, and if you do that, web browsers will still render your content. Okay, so in other words, web browsers don't really care if you're doing the styling in the HTML section or if you're doing it in the CSS file. The web browser will still, render whatever styling you want. Okay, but I think it's best practice to have all the styling done in the CSS file. But hey, as long as the web browsers are cool with it, that means we can do it, right? So we're gonna do some styling of text right here. It says, let's read along with me. It says you can also style text using HTML tags. Okay, the EM tag emphasizes text, while the strong tag highlights important text. Okay, later when you begin to style websites, you will decide how you want browsers to display content within EM and strong tags. Browsers, however, have built-in style sheets that will generally style these tags in the following ways. The EM tag will generally render as italic emphasis. Okay, the strong tag will generally render as bold. So you can see right here that browsers like this one, I have Microsoft Edge right here. I also use Chrome a lot. They already have their own inbuilt style sheets that can render your web content, even if you do the styling in the HTML area. That's why browsers don't seem to care that much. All right, they'll just display your content however you style it. All right, so the EM here will sort of make the text look in an italic format, and we'll see a sample of it shortly. It will make it look in italic format, and then the strong will make your text look bold. Okay, so here it says take a look at each style in action. Okay, so we got a paragraph in here, and then we got some text in there, and then where it says the Nile River, that part has been placed inside the strong tag or strong element tag. Okay, so that part is going to be a bold part. Okay, and then the word longest was placed in the EM tag, which will italize that part of the text. Okay, and then the other part of the text will remain the default version. Okay, in this example, the strong and EM tags are used to emphasize the text to produce the following. You can see right here, the Nile River is the longest river in the world, measuring 6,000, on and on and on. And then as we can see, the Nile River is bold and longest is in italics. Okay, so it's as simple as that, guys. in the first part, we're going to do this instructions right here. Okay, so it says in the first paragraph that starts the brown bear. Okay, so right here is the brown bear right there. That's the first paragraph. Okay, emphasize ursus actos. Okay, so we're going to look for the word ursus actos, which is right here. We're going to emphasize that one. In other words, we're going to make it italic. So we're just going to make it EM opening, and then we're going to put the closing EM right here. Okay, to emphasize that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit run, and there we go. So if you look on the right hand side, you can see that the word ursus actos, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is now looking like an italicized word. You can see that right here. Okay, and then let's go to the next one. It says in the paragraph under about brown bears. Where can we find that? About brown bears. Okay, in the paragraph under about brown bears, which I believe is this same paragraph here, make the words least concern strong. So let's look for the word least concern. We're gonna make it strong. We're gonna put it in the strong tag right here, opening, and then we're gonna put this one here, strong. Okay, and that will close. All right, so when we hit run, we can see that the word least concern is now bold. Okay, you see how it stands out. So we use the EM and the strong element tag to make certain parts of a paragraph stand out. Okay, as you can see right here. All right, so let's go over to the next one. This one is line breaks. All right, line breaks is also super important when we're building websites. Okay, so over here it says the spacing between code in an HTML file doesn't affect the positioning of elements in the browser. If you are interested in modifying the spacing in the browser, you can use HTML line break element. Okay, so what it's saying here is that in the coding section, if I wanted to add some space, let's say I want to break this part here where it says there are many, I want it to be indented away from the other part of the sentence. If I come in here and I do this, okay, if I do this, all right, and then I hit run, I'm just gonna hit run for now, just bear with me, just so you, if I do that, you can notice that nothing happened over here. Okay, so you don't use this regular spacing as a way to separate, you know, the paragraph. Okay, you got to use the right code to do that. Okay, so let's go back to the text area right here. It says the line break element is unique because it is only composed of a starting tag. You can use it anywhere within your HTML code, and a line break will be shown in the browser. Okay, so all the line break is an angle bracket, BR, and a close angle bracket. That's all there is. So in this sentence here, we see the Nile River is the longest river, and then we inserted a break here, meaning that it will cut this part off and start it on a new line. Okay, and then we can insert another break here. It will cut it off and start it on a new line. See that? That's just how you add a break. So the code in the example above will result in the output that looks like the following. Okay, so this is a good way to break up a sentence that is like, you know, very long, you know, horizontal sentence that is running from the left side of the website all the way to the right. If you want to break it into a specific area, you can use a break tag right here, and then it can break up the sentence this way. Okay, put it in sort of like a block looking format. All right, instead of that landscape way format. All right, so over here we have a red X because I was trying to do a demo for us to see. So let's go ahead and refresh that. All right, because anytime you hit the run, it sort of like checks to see if you follow the instructions. Because of the demo I did, it did show a red X. So but let's go ahead and do this instruction. So it says here, add 2 line breaks, which is a BR, after the sentence that ends with least concern. All right, so I'm going to look for where it says least concern. So we're going to add 2 line breaks. We're going to add 1 here, and then we're going to add 1 more line break. All right, so we got 2 of them here, and then when we hit run, we can see that this time you see how this there are many species has now been cut off from the other part of the paragraph. Okay, and it looks pretty clean now. You can also use that double arrow icon over here to check it out right here, in the landscape view. All right, so let's move on to the next one here, and this one is the unordered list. Unordered list. Okay, so we're gonna read from the left hand side right here. Unordered list. In addition to organizing text in paragraph form, you can also display content in easy to read list. So that's what the purpose of unordered list is. There is another one called ordered list, which we can look at later on, but this one is focusing on unordered list. All right, so it says in HTML you can use an unordered list tag UL, that's the angle bracket, UL close angle bracket, to create a list of items in no particular order. Okay, pay attention to that. Okay, with ordered list there is some kind of an order, like a number. Unordered list is more like a bullet point of list that has no order, right? An unordered list outlines individual list items with a bullet point. The UL element should not hold raw text and won't automatically format raw text into an unordered list of items. Individual list items must be added to unordered list using LI tag. The LI or list item tag is used to describe an item in a list. Okay, so this part here is very important. Okay, by just starting the UL tag and closing the UL tag and just placing a list inside of it, it's not gonna render those bullet points. You are gonna need another tag called LI within the unordered list tags to name the various different items in the list. Okay, so this is the right structure for unordered list. You got to follow this structure right here. In the example above, the list was created using the unordered list UL tag, and all individual list items were added using the LI tag. Okay, very simple. The outlook or the output will look like this. See right there? So this code right here will output this. All right. So we're gonna follow this instruction here. It says under the heading that says species. Let's go look for species right here. We could found that right there. We'll see it over here, but we're gonna go right here. Create an unordered list. Do not add any list items to the list yet. All right, so we remember that to create an unordered list, we're going to start off with a UL open, and then we want a UL. Okay, we want the /. Remember, / indicates the closing of that list. Now this just gives us some kind of a container for it. Now we also need LI to specify each of the list items. Okay, so we're gonna need this. They did not tell us specifically how many items will be in the list, but let me just go ahead and add maybe about Let me add about 3 of them maybe. Okay, so now we have an empty unordered list. Let me go ahead and hit run, and that's good. All right, now it's saying add the following list items to the unordered list. So it looks like we got 4 items, so let me just add one more here. Now inside of it, this is empty, so we're gonna now add Actos, and then we're gonna add Colaros, and then we're gonna add Horribilis, and then the 4th one will be Nelsoni, and then it says extinct. It's very important that when you're doing this using the Codecademy platform, you have to make sure that the spelling is accurate. All right, if not, it could result in an error. It's not that you made a mistake, but any tiny little spelling mistake will trigger an error. Okay, so make sure whatever they tell you to put in there, put that exact same thing in there. Don't paraphrase and anything like that. Let me hit run, and everything looks good. So you can see right here on the right hand side that we created a list for species. Okay, let me look at it. You know, it looks easier and cleaner to read, right? Let's look at it in a landscape view, and then it looks like that. All right, so yep, that is how we create an ordered list. Later on we will look at ordered lists as well. It's pretty simple. Maybe we should cover that, right? So let's say if we wanted to, let me just cover that one. Okay, it's very simple. All right, we can just copy this right here. If we wanted to create an ordered list, just copy this and place that right underneath here, paste that, and all we're gonna do is just change the U to O. Okay, and change this right here to O. Okay, and then as soon as we hit run, it's going to number the items. Okay, so I'm gonna hit run, and you can see right here that the items are numbered. Okay, so this is how you create ordered lists. Okay, so depending on the use case, you might need the one at the top or the one at the bottom. It depends on what use case you want to use it for. All right, thanks again for joining us. And in this lesson we looked at styling text. We also looked at line breaks, and we looked at unordered list and ordered list. See you guys in the next video. You're doing great so far. I'll see you all in the next video. All right, bye.